I'm Jacob, and we're going to be changing the CV axle on the 2009 Honda Civic. Look at the tools we need. We need an impact gun, rubber mallet, a bit, torque wrench, or torque stick, breaker bar, pry bar, a hammer, torque wrench, and proper PPE. We also need some grease. Be sure to wear some gloves or glasses. Let's go. Give it a little shake. Make sure it's not going to fall off at all. Now working on the catch. Okay, now we're to step 3, taking off the tire to get that CV axle open. And make sure whenever you're taking off the bolts, make sure you put them somewhere where you can keep them safe, like this little metal tray. That's what I'm using. Okay, so there's this locking tab on the spindle nut. It's a little dent in it if you can't see, but you can see that. So if you have an impact wrench or impact gun, go full capacity, it'll come spin right off like that. And make sure you put it here in that tray. Okay, and then there's these little bolts on the control arm, lower control arm right here. You're gonna need to get underneath right here, these little bolts. They might be a little stuck on. You might need a breaker bar. It can happen, but just get that underneath here. Should pop off pretty easy. Break it. All right, gotta get the bolts on. All right, the control arm here, you need to get out. That one's probably gonna be a little bit tighter than the other ones. So you go up underneath here, get that bolt right here. Get that. Breaker bar should get it loose pretty easy. And now just. All right, next you're gonna want to grab your pry bar. You're gonna want to get this pry bar right here on this lower control arm and against another piece of metal. You don't want to pull against something that's plastic for the brake, so you can pull this down. And you can get that off. And pull it towards the driver's seat, or not, like towards the passenger seat. And then you want to get your rubber mallet, get through. It'll be through a little bit. And now you pull towards. Pull towards you and then go towards the passenger side. All right, now it should slip out like that. And next you want to grab pry bar again. Go in between the axle and the transmission housing. Right here, you want to get a pry bar right here. All right, you're gonna want to spin it a couple more times and find a really good spot, but this pry bar specifically is pretty thick, so it's gonna be a little harder to get a spot underneath it. But spinning it a couple times could probably help find you a good spot. Golly. All right, got it. Gonna want to pull that out. And you're gonna probably have transmission fluid spilling out right here, but in this car specifically, we had already drained it all out before. So remember, keep an oil pan right underneath here. You're gonna have oil spilling out. Brand new axle, new spindle nut, new everything. We're gonna put that back in here. And remember which side you put it in. So remember this one, always make sure that these two are the same length, because axles, they're always two different sizes because the engine is not centered. This axle right here is gonna be shorter because it's closer to the engine. This one's gonna be. All right, and remember you're gonna need a little bit of grease. A little bit goes a long way. There's a little finger like that. Spin it around right here. Try not to get it anywhere else other than these little grooves. It'll help it go in easier and come out easier whenever you need to change it. All right. Now remember, this side went into the transmission. You want to put that through. A little hard to get that thing in, but pull it out, the boot will come out. Now you're probably gonna need you're probably gonna need 2 or 3 people for this one, for this part. So if you have a friend, go grab them, or you're just a heat man, strong man like that, you can try doing it by yourself. But do it like that. And gotta get that new spindle nut right here. Get that thing on right here. Grab your torque stick. Hammer and a punch. You want to dent it in right here with a spindle nut so the locking tab stays in place. Just so it doesn't slip while you're driving or braking or doing anything like that. All right, so after you take off that spindle or put that spindle nut back on, you're gonna want to get the bolts connected to the lower control arm back here. I already started one. There's 2 more right here that need to be connected. If you have any trouble getting this part of the rotor or on the wheel hub, on the back of it, you're gonna need a little bit of force, pry bar to pull it down, and you're gonna need your other hand right here pulling this into it so that the screws line up. So start. All right, in order to that, we got to put the tire back on. All right, so whenever you're putting the tire back on, you're gonna want to start it. So get this bolt going, and remember, use your torque stick. This one's rated 80 foot-pounds of torque. Your car might be different, or maybe it's not, but make sure you do that star pattern. So I started up there on the top middle. So it goes like this, there, 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 there. All right, and whenever you're done with that tire, pretty much done, but you gotta lift this up a little bit. Grab your safety catches on the lid. Then all you need to do, lower it and then torque it. All right, so once you get that car lowered, you're gonna wanna go down. Use your torque wrench. So I set it to 80 foot-pounds, just like that torque stick says. This torque wrench is gonna be a little bit more accurate than torque stick, but you just wanna make sure. You hear that click? Star pattern. All right, that's how you change a CV axle on the 2009 Honda Civic. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.